Australian connection in the lucrative and unconscionable world of people smuggling. Welcome to Four Corners.
The 2010 Four Corners episode titled Smuggler's Paradise at first glance may seem like an expose targeting people smuggling operations within Australia. However, the content of the episode reveals that its primary agenda is to provoke the audience to take an anti-refugee stance. The episode opened with sinister music that accentuates the host Kerry O'Brien's statement.
Whatever the motives of the asylum seekers themselves, don't be in any doubt about what's driving the smugglers. They're clever, they're ruthless, and they have blood on their hands. They have now established a flourishing nucleus in Australia to cash in on those who have been accepted as refugees here.
Here, the initial appearance of the episode is shattered. Four Corners have immediately made it clear that they don't intend to investigate smuggling operations, but instead target the persons behind such acts. The episode continues with reconstructed events depicting people smugglers and asylum seekers, with Sarah Ferguson delivering the commentary.
While reconstructing the journey of this lost boat, we uncovered evidence of how the people smuggling networks in Indonesia have spread to Australia.
Four Corners suggest ideas that people smuggling operations have migrated from Indonesia to Australia. A news article from Solidarity puts forth the question:
how does anyone in Australia organise boats and arrange accommodation for the hundreds of asylum seekers in Indonesia?
However, an article from the Sydney Morning Herald says
refugees and people smuggling are not a big political issue in Indonesia.
Information from the Asylum Seeker Resource Centre reveals that the majority of boat arrivals travel to Australia via Malaysia and Indonesia, not because of people smugglers, but because they have no genuine alternatives. Neither country has signed the Refugee Convention, and asylum seekers face long periods without protection for their basic rights. And furthermore, the Australian Institute of Criminology have established, although the recent increases in overall arrivals seem large, on the whole illegal immigration to Australia accounts for only a very small portion of the global people smuggling market. Additionally, the program's basis on actions of refugees and people smugglers have all come from two people smuggling cases, but only provide further examination on one: the story of Ali Al-Abbasi, aka Captain Emad.
Captain Emad, also known as Abu Khalid, and his hand-picked agents were already on board. According to Border Protection Command, Captain Emad's boat was intercepted at 2:24 a.m. on the 13th of January 2010, 5 nautical miles north of Christmas Island.
The program proposes that this captain posed as a refugee on his journey to Australia in 2010. However, they present no information regarding Al-Abbasi's refugee claim. In reality, the majority of those who have been charged for acting as organizers for people smuggling have themselves been refugees. The Refugee Action Coalition of Sydney said that
10 of 16 people convicted for people smuggling between 2001 and 2006 were indeed refugees themselves.
Four Corners have also managed to include a story about a boat sinking without questioning the federal police about the circumstances surrounding the event. The host, Kerry O'Brien, even ended the episode by saying,
We invited the Australian Federal Police to give an interview for this program, but they declined.
Sarah Ferguson had also previously stated,
in the final affront to the Australian system, the adults were all provided with public housing. Emad's wife lives in Kaleen, his daughters in Lynham and Dunlop, his son in Hawker. Once on Christmas Island, Captain Emad's plan to become an Australian resident continued without a hitch. Only 3 months later, on the 20th of April, the Department of Immigration gave the smuggler Captain Emad a protection visa and Australian residence.
in a final affront to the Australian system, plan continued without a hitch. Only 3 months. Here they target government policies of processing refugees, proclaiming that it is too lenient. The program claims that the children of the alleged people smuggler were imprudently provided with public housing. It failed to provide any evidence in support of this. Four Corners continue to lure viewers by evoking myths of refugees exploiting government benefits. However, the Refugee Council of Australia has made it clear that
a refugee who has permanent residency in Australia receives exactly the same social security benefits as any Australian resident in the same circumstances. Refugees apply for social security through Centrelink like everyone else and are assessed for the different payment options in the same way as everyone else. There are no separate Centrelink allowances that one can receive simply by virtue of being a refugee.
Throughout the duration of the show, they make claims and comments on the actions and mentality of people smugglers, avoiding in-depth examination of smuggling enterprises. This is coupled with both people and how Four Corners perceives them as a consequence of an improvident government policy and a donation from people smugglers.